Sabbasangaha. What's differentiation? We can't consider nibbana in terms of past nibbana, present nibbana, or future nibbana. This is because nibbana is timeless. For this reason, we exclude it from the category of aggregate. Nibbana is not only timeless. What about internal and external? Remember how we group the various aspects in terms of internal or external, inferior or superior, distant or near, and gross or subtle. Nibbana is just one, so it can't form a group. For this reason, nibbana is external. It is not internal. If someone says that nibbana is in our heart or in our body, it's not accurate. There is just suffering in our hearts and bodies, and nibbana is not suffering. It is external and beyond our five aggregates. How about inferior and superior? Nibbana is superior. What about distant and near? It's distant. After all, if it was near, then everyone could gain it. It's distant, so we have to try so hard. And how about gross and subtle? It's subtle. So just one, right? This is what is meant by nibbana lacking differentiation. There's no past, present, or future. But as for internal or external, and so on, there's just one. Because it's just one, it can't form a khandha, or group. I can't form a group by myself. Right? There must be you and I to form a group. In other words, we can call ourselves a group if we are together. An individual cannot form a group. Nibbana is like this. The Five Upādānakkhandhā. We have another kind of khandha here. That is, we also have Five Upādānakkhandhā. We're dividing khandha into two, right? The first khandha, which we just talked about, includes both mundane and supramundane. Vijnana khandha includes the 89 types of consciousness, right? These 89 types include both the mundane and the supramundane. But as for the Five Upādānakkhandhā, only mundane is included. What is upadana? It's grasping or clinging. We're talking now about aggregates of grasping or clinging. This means that these five aggregates are objects of clinging. What is clinging? We studied this before, right? What is it? Do you remember? It is kamupādana, ditthupādana, silabbatupādana, and attavadupādana. Their realities are just lobha and ditthi. Kamupādana, clinging to sensual pleasure, has lobha as its reality. The remaining three have wrong view, ditthi, as their reality. So upādana is just lobha and ditthi. 189, Las Vegas Sayadaw. So these five aggregates, Upādānakkhandhā, are the objects of clinging. They are the objects of lobha and dittha, and the supramundane cannot be the object of either. The Buddha explained Upādānakkhandhā for the purpose of practicing vipassana meditation. When he explained how to practice this type of meditation, he taught us which objects we need to observe. He tried to explain these five aggregates for that very purpose. 1. Rupupādānakkhandhā. The reality of rupa khandha is the 28 types of rupa, right? But do you remember when we were studying material properties in the 3rd chapter of the 2nd book? We learned about nifana rupa and anifana rupa. We can take only the 18 nifana rupa as meditation objects. The remaining 10 material properties that are not born of kama are not treated as upādānakkhandhā. Why can we take the 18 nifana rupa as meditation objects? Because they have the characteristics of impermanence, suffering, and non-self. What about the 10 anifana rupa? This includes space, which is the space between rupa. This cannot be our meditation object. We also can't use bodily and vocal intimation as meditation objects. And it's the same for the 3 mutable material properties and the 4 characteristics of matter. So excluding these 10 rupa, that leaves the remaining 18 nifana rupa to be taken as meditation objects. Please remember that, among rupa, only these 18 nifana rupa can be taken as objects of vipassana meditation. In English, we call them concretely produced matter. But, generally speaking, these 28 kinds of material properties are mundane. Please remember the distinction between 28 rupa and 18 rupa. When we do morning chanting, You may recognize the part in which we chant Upādānakkhandhā, Upādānakkhandhā, and so on. This is what we're talking about. 2. Upādānakkhandhā. The reality here is just Vedana, but this Vedana is not the same Vedana as before. The Vedana of Upādānakkhandhā is found in all Citta, but here we're just talking about Vedana in mundane Citta. How many types of mundane Citta are there? There are 81. This is because we are excluding the 4 types of Magga Citta and the 4 types of Phala Citta. 190. Sabbasangaha. Can you see how this differs from our previous discussion of Upādānakkhandhā? 3. Sanyupādānakkhandhā. This is just Sanyanya Cetasika. It is only in the 81 types of mundane Citta. With Sanya Khandha we studied all Citta, right? Here, it's just mundane. 4. Sankarupādānakkhandhā. The reality is the remaining 50 Cetasika. 5. Vijñānupādānakkhandhā. This is Citta. Here, it takes only the 81 types of mundane Citta. We're just talking about mundane Citta, right? This is why it's just mundane Citta that we can take as our meditation object. How can we take the 4 types of Magga Citta or the 4 types of Phala Citta as meditation objects if we haven't yet reached that level? We can't, which is why we can only take mundane Citta until then. So now we know about khandhas. These khandhas are especially suitable for meditators who are deluded by mentality or nama. When we look at all Paramatha Dhammas, realities here, what do we see? The first is rupa, matter, and the second, third, fourth, and fifth are nama. How many cetasika, mental states, do we have? We have 52. Among how many khandhas do we find these 52 cetasika? 3 khandhas. What are they? They are Vedānupādānakkhandhā, Sanyupādānakkhandhā, and Sankarupādānakkhandhā. Where do these 3 khandhas come from? Cetasika. We call these nama. And what about Vijñānupādānakkhandhā? This is citta, or consciousness. So we have just 1 rupa khandha and 4 nama khandhas. For this reason, those who are deluded by nama, who study and practice with these khandhas as objects, find that things become very clear. They will understand the nature of nama, or mentality. Those with keen mental faculties, that is, those with very sharp indriya, can study the khandhas and will understand right away. They can then practice meditation and gain enlightenment quickly. These are good objects for those with keen mental faculties. 191.